Early morning. The sun rises, not with a shout, but with a whisper, a slow, radiant exhale that paints the canopy in hues of gold and amber. Light doesn't just fall here, it seeps through the leaves, dappling the forest floor in moving constellations. And there, on a moss-covered stone, smoothed by time and rain, sits Jade. She is old. You can see it in the way she holds herself, not with frailty, but with a deep, accumulated stillness. Her fur, once perhaps a vibrant brown, is now streaked with silver, like frost on late autumn grass. Her name? Jade. It suits her. There's a quiet toughness to her, a worn wisdom, like a river stone. She is not just sitting, she is staring. Her gaze is fixed on the depth of the forest ahead, a green, tangled mystery. It's a look of profound pondering. This morning, like many mornings, begins not with action, but with thought. Beside her, pressed close for warmth and reassurance, is her youngest daughter, Javo. Small, curious eyes taking in the same view, learning to see what her mother sees. Jade shifts slightly. A low, soft grumble vibrates in her throat. Not a sound for the forest, but for Javo. It is the first lesson of the day, a lesson in seeing. Before you move, you must look. Before you seek, you must understand. She is classifying the world. The safe paths from the uncertain ones, the fruitful trees from the barren, the signs of other troops, of predators, of peace. This silent morning ritual is the map she draws in her mind, a map she will now teach her daughter to navigate. A soft crunch as Jade slowly stands. Javo immediately mimics, her small hand clutching her mother's fur. And so they begin. This is their liturgy, their daily communion. They step off the stone and into the green breath of the forest. For Jade and her children, food is never just sustenance. It is a conversation with the forest. It is the crisp, protein-rich beetle hidden under decaying wood. It is this specific young leaf, tender and slightly bitter, plucked from a vine only she remembers. It is the fig, not too ripe, found in the high crook of a familiar tree. Each morsel is a flavor, yes, but also a pharmacy. That leaf soothes an old ache in her joints. These certain berries clear the parasites. The insects give her the strength to climb, to lead, to protect. This knowledge is her legacy. It is written not in words, but in memory, in gesture, in taste. They move slowly, deliberately. Jade's progress is a steady, grounded walk. She pauses often, allowing Javo to catch up, to observe. The little one stumbles sometimes, her world still so big, so baffling. But she watches her mother's every move, the way Jade's fingers probe a crevice, how she sniffs a mushroom and then decisively leaves it. Even in her age, Jade is the most vital teacher. She is not teaching Javo to simply eat. She is teaching her to read the hidden text of the forest, the scent on the wind, the meaning of a disturbed ant trail, the sound of fruit falling in the distance. This is the crucial lesson. To live with nature, not just in it. To be a partner, not a dependent. The greatest gift she can give her child is the ability to find food on her own long after Jade is gone. To never have to rely solely on the unpredictable, often dangerous offerings from the world of people. Watch her eyes. They are old eyes, clouded at the edges, but at their center burns a sharp primordial light. They scan the forest floor, the bark, the undergrowth. They are not frantic, they are analytical. They ignore the shiny, inedible nut. They dismiss the colorful but toxic flower. They lock onto the subtle, the almost invisible movement of a stick insect, the specific shade of a dying leaf that harbors edible grubs, the patch of soft, new grass that is gentle on her worn teeth. This is the gaze of a survivor, a gaze that has, over decades, filtered the overwhelming chaos of the jungle into a simple, vital menu. Eat, do not eat. Jade has chosen a path today that winds away from the well-trodden routes of her larger troop. She seeks the quieter places, the margins where competition is less fierce and the food is left undisturbed. It is a peaceful, purposeful retreat. And behind her, a tiny shadow follows, learning the value of quiet paths. But the forest is not an island. Now, a disturbance. A ripple of anxiety passes through the troop's scattered calls. From the edge of the world, from the direction of the big supervisor's city, a visitation. Men in stiff clothes come to see, to assess, to manage. They look at the monkeys as a problem to be solved, a population to be controlled. They check clipboards, talk in low tones. One points toward Jade's general direction. They review. They decide the nation's health. This troop, this family, is not optimal. Perhaps too many, perhaps too bold. Plans are muttered. Fees for protection are discussed. It is all cold calculus. And Jade, though she does not understand the words, understands the tone, the tension in the air, the ancient, deep-seated alarm that vibrates in her bones. She does not wait. A sharp, commanding bark to Javo, and she moves, not with panic, but with a sudden, decisive speed. She becomes a streak of silver and brown through the green, heading deeper, away toward the heart of safety. Her child, wide-eyed, scrambles after her, the lesson of the morning now violently reinforced. The world of men is a vortex to be fled. The flight exhausts her. Age weighs heavy after adrenaline fades. She stops, her breath coming in short puffs. She sits on a fallen log, her body sagging. For the first time this morning, she looks truly old. Her eyes scan, not for food, but for Javo. Where is she? Is she safe? The fear is not for herself, but for the small life following her shadow. And there Javo is, arriving moments later, mimicking her mother's weary posture. The lesson continues, even in fatigue. Watch, rest when you must, but always be aware. Placed quietly by a passing watcher who saw the hardship, who saw the hunger in Jade's sunken flanks. She stares at it. A war plays out in her eyes. Hunger versus pride. Need versus deep, learned suspicion. The memory of past gifts that came with shouting, with nets, with cages. Hunger wins. She darts forward, snatches the fruit, and retreats. She does not eat peacefully. She devours it quickly, furtively, her eyes darting around, guarding against her own troop members. In her world, abundance attracts thieves. Kindness can be a weapon. She has been sinned against before. Even generosity must be consumed in secret. She stuffs the last of the sweet flesh into her mouth, her cheeks bulging. She will chew it slowly as she walks, hiding the evidence, avoiding the jealous glances that could turn violent. The gift is both a comfort and a weight. The journey resumes, slower now. The search continues. A beetle here, a cluster of edible buds there. Eat while looking. The search never truly ends. And now, another shadow joins them. Larger, stronger. Jigs, her eldest daughter. She has come not just to forage, but as a sentinel. She positions herself slightly between her mother and the rest of the world, her eyes hard. She is here to protect. She remembers the old battles, the bullies in the troop who targeted her aging mother. She will not let it happen today. They arrive at a small, sun-dappled clearing, a sanctuary. Here, Jade can finally rest deeply. She eats a few more tender leaves, not out of hunger, but for the final strength she needs. Javo, emboldened by the safe place and the presence of her big sister, sidles up to Jade. She nuzzles her mother's chest, a clear, pleading request. She is still young enough to seek the ultimate comfort, the primal nourishment, milk. Jade looks down. Her expression is soft but firm. She gently pushes Javo's head away, a soft chiding sound. No, the lesson must hold. I have shown you how to find food. Now you must use it. Dependence must end for independence to begin. Javo persists, whimpering softly, not leaving her mother's side. The plea is powerful, born of love and habit. Jade looks at her daughter's face. She sees the child, but she must raise an adult. She lets out a slow sigh, a sound that holds all the conflict of motherhood. Then she relents, but only slightly. She allows a brief moment, a few precious seconds at the dryer. Javo clings, drinking in safety and love. Jade's arm wraps around her, a fleeting embrace that also scans the tree line for danger. But the moment is short-lived. Jigs, the elder sister, approaches. She is not jealous, but she is a guardian of the lesson. She gives a sharp, authoritative bark. Enough. Jade agrees. She gently disengages from Javo, her message clear. This is the time to live, to learn. The comfort of the infant must give way to the strength of the forager. The midday sun is high. The forest settles into a somnolent hum. With renewed, if weary purpose, Jade leads them to a final location, a great ancient tree with gnarled, inviting branches, a fortress of peace. The rustle of leaves and the creak of wood as Jade climbs, slowly, methodically, finding each trusted foothold. She climbs not with the agility of youth, but with the certainty of memory. Every knot, every fork is an old friend. She ascends to a high crook. The cradle of wood has held her for years. This is her balcony, her watchtower, her bed. She settles in. The weariness of the morning, the pondering, the teaching, the fleeing, the foraging, melts from her muscles. Here, she is safe. Below, Javo and other young ones begin to play, chasing shadows and each other, their shrieks of joy weaving into the forest sound. The hardship of the morning is forgotten in the simple bliss of the present. Jade watches them. Her eyes are half closed, but they hold a calm, deep contentment. She has navigated another day. She has found food. She has taught her daughter. She has protected her family. She has found her way back to this throne of leaves. The playfulness of the young fades into the general peaceful ambience of the forest afternoon. A gentle wind rustles the canopy. And here, in the dappled light, old Monkey Jade rests. Her body is still, her breathing steady. The forest breathes with her. In this quiet communion, there is no search, no fear, no lesson. There is only being. There is only home.